guys, it's Jessica here from A Cherry on Top, and welcome to our Technique Tuesday series where each Tuesday on our YouTube channel we show a different technique. Each month we focus on a different topic, and this month is distressing. So I'll be using distress inks, and I'll be distressing papers, and just adding a lot of distress over this whole page. When I think of distress, I kind of go more towards the vintage looking distress. That's why I like to add these book pages where I tear them, and now I'm layering on top using some opaque crackle paste, which I like using the crackle because it gives that extra texture and it looks even more distressed or aged. I really like how the crackle shows up when I start adding inks or paints into it. Usually I'll add like a really runny acrylic paint or distress inks because it fills in those tiny little cracks that it gets as it dries. And I'm using a heat gun just to speed up the process a little bit. When I'm doing pages like this, I like to grab items from my stash. So I'm using some papers from Graphic 45's Nature's Notebook collection. I really liked working with that collection because it's really earthy and has a lot of patterns. So I like to break up those patterns. So I'll be using a little bit of that. And then this is a Tim Holtz stamp. It had that creepy eye on it, so it's great for Halloween, but it also has this floral, which is great for any time. I have some other things and stickers and stuff on the other side of my left page, so I knew when I was stamping there that it wouldn't turn out perfectly, but I still wanted it there, so I just went for it anyways. And now I'm going around with some distress ink. This is the Gathered Twigs color. I think it has a really nice brown. This is actually my most used color, and it looks like it's time to add some re-inker to it. But I'm going around and then adding water and blending it around my page. Using inks as watercolors is one of my favorite ways to use them. I do this technique all the time because there's so many different color inks and you get exactly the color you want, and it's super easy. I just add a little on some palette paper and then I just paint away. So already this is having a very distressed feel. I love adding splatters on pretty much anything and everything. So of course I'm adding some on here. And in between, I like to use the blow dryer to make sure it's all dry, because when you're adding splatters, when the page is wet, they get more, they absorb a little bit more, which I like that look, but then I like it dry and then I splatter again and those splatters show up a little bit more. One of the rules I make for myself when I'm using a page from a book is I want to make it so you can't read the words on the book. Like, it's supposed to be more of a look and not something where you can actually sit down and read. That's why I like to rip these pages so much and cut words in half, and then I like to ink over them, and if I still see it, that's when I'll add some white acrylic paint on top of it, because that just blurs it a little bit more. I also like to make sure that the book page has something sort of related. I think the page that I used here had something to do with plant life. So just in case you can see a little bit, it still goes with the theme. Because today's theme is all about distressing, I really wanted to add as many different types of distressing as I could, which included distressing this black paper. I didn't want my photos to have a super crisp back, so that's why I added a little bit of white and then some of the Gathered Twigs distress ink. And now I'm using my distressing tool and just really upping all of the distressing that I can. In my journal pages, I love it when there's an interactive something on the page. This could be a pocket, or in this case, I am using a like a little flip, so you have to flip up to see the photos underneath. I think it just adds a little bit of whimsy to a page and really makes it exciting to flip through a journal like this. I edited my photos so they would look a little bit more vintage or look like they match the color scheme of this journal page. I made them black and white, and then I added a little bit of a beige tint to them. So they really go nicely with this craft paper I'm working on. This journal is a mixed media journal. I'll link to it below, but I've been loving to use it because half of the pages are white and then the other half is craft, so you really get the best of both worlds. On my one photo flip up, I have a photo on both sides of it, and then my other one, I decorated the back side so it would have a stamp and some more of the book page on there. And to attach them to my page, I'm using some washi tape and taping it on both sides. And this makes it stay pretty well. On the left side here, I had a little bit of the crackle paste peeling up, so I cleared that away before adding the washi tape. You could also, like I'm reinforcing it here, and that'll really stay pretty nicely. If you're working on a surface where this type of a flip using the washi tape isn't working, you could also sew directly onto the page, like score your little flip and then sew along it. Or if you're not into sewing, just grab a stapler and staple it on. And both ways will give you the same sort of flip open effect. At this point, I thought my page was looking a little too monochrome, so I thought I'd add this more green and leafy fern page, and I think it really adds a lot. And of course, I ripped the page. Not only does this keep with the distressed look, it's also so much faster to just rip a page. I love the texture ripping ads. And now I figured because it's distressing, why not distress my alpha letters for my title? These are some letters from Pinkfresh, which are usually Pinkfresh is known for like really crisp and light and white things, and I figured why not distress it? First I tried coloring them using some Distress Oxides, but they didn't stick on that great because these letters are really plasticky and slippery. So first I added a coat of green acrylic paint, and then the Distress stuck on much better. I know if I would have used gesso first, then it would have stuck on perfectly, but I didn't. So but they still turned out pretty well. And I like the green color much better than like the sky blue that there originally was. And now I'm adding a few little phrase stickers. These are also from Tim Holtz. And I think I really like just like having this pop open and then there's a little saying there. And here is the finished page. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this Technique Tuesday. Leave a comment for what you would like to see for Technique Tuesdays, and maybe we'll do that next month. Thanks for watching.